be real, most people suck at pull-ups, and it's not because they don't have muscle mass or because they don't train enough. In fact, most of them actually train very consistently, only to see mild results. A good example of that would be going to the gym, doing a few sets of pull-ups to failure, whether it's body weight or weighted pull-ups, resting 2 to 3 minutes of rest and calling it a day, moving on to other pull exercises that they are not really specific to pull-ups. And over the long term, you just see very mediocre results, you stay at the same place, or maybe you've progressed a little bit with 1 or 2 reps, but this is just not satisfying. I used to be at that place as well, and what I was lacking, like most people, was strength. Not muscle, but strength. Their max ceiling of strength is just low. And if you think about it, your body weight weighs a certain amount, right? If you lift a bicep curl in the gym, you lift a certain weight. If you get stronger, that old PR, you can now rep with it, right? The same thing goes for pull-ups. If your 1 RM ceiling is higher than it was before, your old 1 RM, you can rep it now. And your body weight, you can rep it even more. So the higher the ceiling, the more body weight reps you can do without getting tired. Think of it as like a gap. There's the floor, that is your body weight. You can't go below it. I mean, you can if you train with bands, but if you see this video, I hope you're strong enough to train with only your body weights. So your body weight is the floor, your 1 RM is the ceiling. And if your 1 RM, your ceiling, is very close to your body weight, for example, your 1 RM in pull-up is 10 kg, it will be very hard to do reps with body weight. So if you get that ceiling high as possible, even above that frame, your body weight will become easy and no longer rely on strength and be limited by your max strength in order to rep it. So let's move on to how to develop your strength ceiling, your 1 RM in pull-ups, in order to rep more times your own body weight. But before that, you have to understand something about max strength. It cannot be trained with traditional hypertrophy methods like you do in the gym, but it requires a different approach. So I'm going to give you 3 tips on how to develop your max strength without burning out and still leaving some room for bodyweight reps at the gym or at home or at the park, whatever you're training at. By the way, if you're enjoying this content so far, make sure to press the like button and subscribe for more content. It really motivates me to publish more, and I hope it helps for you guys. So the first tip is to train with heavy weights. And I don't mean by 8 to 10 rep range, I mean maximal 5 rep range. This is really heavy weights that allow you to produce more of your muscle strength and over time develop the strength needed to increase your 1 RM ceiling and basically get stronger so your body weight becomes lighter relative to your strength ceiling. If you're currently training with 8 to 10 rep range, maybe even more, drop down the reps and increase the weight, which will help you over time unlock more of your strength. The second tip is never train to failure. This is actually very important because usually in hypertrophy you go always to failure, whether it's lower weights or higher weights, doesn't matter, you just go to failure because that's the main principle. The main principle in strength is lifting heavy weights, just as we saw as the last tip, but not getting to failure so you can move weight faster. When you lift yourself in pull-ups, you want to lift yourself as fast as possible so you don't spend too much time under tension that is just energy depletion, right? So you want to work with reps in reserve, not getting to failure, getting 1 to 2 reps shy of failure. So if you do 5 reps, go with a weight that you can do 6 reps with, and that way you can pull that weight faster without getting fatigued as much as going to failure. The third and last tip would be having a lot of time of rest between sets. Now again, just like we mentioned before, we work with heavy weights on a low rep range, so we get a lot of fatigue from each set. That's why we don't get to failure, but also we want to rest a lot between sets so we get to each set fresh, being able to lift the same weight without burning out too much. So a general rule of thumb would be resting between 3 to 5 minutes of rest between sets so you can have the same amount of weight, the same amount of reps, and actually stacking up the volume over time without burning out, keeping yourself away from injuries, and actually develop real strength. So if you take all of these 3 tips together and combine them into a single strength training, you'd get much better results than the traditional hypertrophy training 8 to 12 rep range. But don't worry, you will still get muscle mass because you lift heavy weights, and getting to actually 1 to 2 reps shy of failure bring almost the same results as getting to failure, just with less amount of fatigue and more strength gains. So if you enjoyed this video, press the like button and subscribe for more content like this. If you have any comments, write down below. I see all the comments, so I won't miss yours. And have a good day. Ciao.